Oh, my comment. My feels. My feels. Last week with freaking You're Like April, now Parasyte. Feels. Deep breaths, Nate. Deep breaths. Get it? Because, Migi was telling Shinichi, you can do this. Deep breaths. You'll be okay. Anyway, what is up, ladies and gents? Nate here, bringing you my review for Parasyte, the Maxim, episode 22, known as Quiescence and Awakening. Probably because of Migi and Guto and Shinichi realizing things and stuff. So after last week with the, Shinichi's just heading out, just walking, just chilling, and Migi's like, yo, Guto's on his way. Go for it, and then they do, and then they get in a car, Migi's driving, and you know what the funny thing is? That Migi's probably a better driver than most of humanity. That's the sad part. Anyway, Shinichi realizing that if, he needs to go to somewhere more, secluded, or else, if they go in the city, a lot of people are going to die, and he doesn't want that anymore. He realizes that he has to man up for his actions and do things with him and Migi, because he doesn't want anyone else dying because of his problems. So essentially, they drive to the mountain in a more secluded area, and Migi takes the car. It doesn't really show how Migi and Shinichi got out, but they use the car, they dive bomb it straight into Guto's car, and it essentially explodes, and Guto's still alive because that mother trucker. Oh, that was close. I almost cursed. He survived because OP final boss fight, mother trucker. Anyway, the dubstep ensues, and you know what that means? Boss fight. The final boss fight is about to begin. Or so we think, because it fails. Shinichi and Migi are unsuccessful on killing Guto on their first try. But I guess I should break down how they went along their plans. So, if you guys remember, Migi can detach from Shinichi's arm only for a little while, and it's the same thing with Tamura when she faced the three other parasites, and she essentially separated herself from her body. But if the separated part of the body, the key thing, Migi was essentially his hand, so the fact that he was away from Shinichi, the host body, for such a long time, he essentially died. Anyway, Migi gave Shinichi a lighter that they found in the car that they used to dive bomb Guto. Shinichi lights a stick on fire, then he pretty much throws it, and essentially it gets Guto in the leg, and Guto's like, whoa, crap. And we see how fire reacts to a parasite, or how a parasite reacts to fire, and essentially they melt like if they were liquid, which is pretty interesting, and hopefully that comes into play again. Also, if you guys also remember, when Migi's detached from Shinichi, he's not at the strongest. He's actually probably at 50% strength. There's not really a definitive strength number, but when Migi tried to cut Guto's head off, it didn't really work, because remember, the head is the control tower, and Guto being having so many parasites within his body, I forgot if they gave us a number, but we know he probably has essentially a lot. His head has to be the control tower, because that's why his head doesn't transform into the blade things, and rather his limbs does. Anyway, Migi can't cut straight through, and he keeps on doing it, but he essentially failed. And Migi essentially tells Shinichi to run, and Shinichi, he kind of hesitant. He doesn't want to leave his friend behind, and essentially he has to, because he's gonna die. Because Migi straight up tells him, there's no need for both of us to die here, and yeah. And Guto, he looks crippled, but assuming that he's Guto and he's the final boss, I'm assuming he's gonna transform, and we only see glimpses of it this episode, especially towards the end, where you see him just straight up be the monster that he is on the poster, and that's scary. Guto is one scary mofo. Anyway, before Shinichi pretty much runs away, Guto is actually able to get his cut on him. He gets a cut right above his eye. Just add another cool scar onto Shinichi, and Shinichi, after a lot of crying, after falling into a river, he meets this old lady, and the old lady pretty much just takes him in for a little bit, and that's about it. You just see Shinichi just helping the old lady, struggling to hold chopstick with his left hand, because I'm not left-handed, so I have no idea how to hold chopstick with my left hand, but I heard it's very difficult, unless you have I think there are certain chopsticks made for left-handed people. Anyway, chopsticks with right hand are much easier, and Shinichi doesn't have a right hand, because it's And we learn a few things. Apparently, people have been illegally dumping trash into into like this land, like this area in the mountains, and I think the old lady said that it's very flammable. So maybe that would come into play. Like maybe Shinichi remembers it, he runs to it, he like gets like a lighter, or he essentially still has the lighter. He jumps, puts the lighter into the trash, it lights up in flames, and Guto, still following him, gets into it, and he's like melting like the Wicked Witch of the West, and then Shinichi just finishes his job and cuts off his head. Maybe that's how it ends. Anyway, some other civilians go into the forest, and apparently one of them get murdered by Guto, being the monster that he is, and they're like, hey, your nephew, the old lady's nephew, which is Shinichi, just playing pretend pretty much, it's like, only bad things happen when strangers are around, so, you know, it's maybe your fault that that person got killed, and, like, the guy who got, like, the blood of, like, the friend of them that got murdered, hopefully that makes sense. It's like, no, you guys don't understand. It was a monster. He was like 3 meters tall. And like, he did this motion in the anime, so that was the first thing I did. Anyway, it's like, so Shinichi's not in trouble. Anyway, Shinichi is talking to the old lady one last time, saying like, this is his fault. He's the reason why Guto is here. He's the reason why people are dying. He has to man up for his mistakes. He can't let anyone else die because of him. And he's going to do everything he can with his life to get rid of Guto. And the old lady's like, you shouldn't just waste your life. Like, think about the people that you care about and all of this about life in general. You're still young and you still got stuff to do. Like, and the thing is, I think Shinichi understands too, but like at this point he just he's the only one capable of stopping Guto. Unless he goes to the army, but then again, the army's gonna take too long and Guto will probably murder everyone. But like, he's like, Shinichi just has to do this on his own, and he's the main character too, so there's that. So Shinichi picks up a rusty knife blade thing and heads out to go find Guto in the middle of the night. And that's, yeah. Oh, one more thing that was really crucial. You have to remember when Shinichi got stabbed in the heart by his mom, or the parasite that took over his mom's body. Yeah, so Migi's cells are still in Shinichi, and you see that Migi was able to create an eye, like make an eye on his arm, but then like, since it might not be enough cells yet, the fact that like he couldn't make a mouth or like comprehend thought, so maybe Migi comes back at the end after everything's over, maybe not, who knows. Anyway, Migi's dead. That sucks. My grade for the episode, I'm gonna give it an A. It was just seeing Migi go was definitely the worst part, but also the best part of the episode. Seeing Guto, seeing how strong he is, just like he was like, man, that guy's OP, and now he's like in his final form. He's like Frieza over here, or Cell, and like it's him versus Shinichi now, and not even Shinichi and Migi versus Guto. But yeah, maybe what if Migi comes back during the boss fight? It's like, Shinichi, I'm here. What da 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 da. So yeah, my question to you guys is, how do you guys feel about Migi and his going away? What did Migi mean to you throughout this entire series? If you can actually answer that. Anyway, let me know down in the comments below. Me personally, Migi, he was like the counter to Shinichi's, like, humanly, like, if you guys remember in the beginning of the series, Shinichi was a nerdy guy and all of this, and when Migi comes along, Shinichi essentially gets more cold, and he gets more, like, cooler, in a sense. Like, what I'm trying to say is, Migi changed Shinichi, but he didn't change Shinichi in a bad way, he changed Shinichi for the better. Anyway, with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and thanks for watching, but don't forget to leave a like if you think the video deserves it. Subscribe to my channel if I interchange your faces and you enjoyed what you saw. Anyway, I'll see you guys all tomorrow for Your Cry in April. Just kidding. It's called Your Death in April, because that's all I'm getting so far. Yeah, so until then, bye.